the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-6R. For so many people, this bike is an absolute icon. It's a poster on the wall, a legend in the Supersport world. But what is it actually like to own one? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. We're comparing the dream of that incredible high-revving thrill with the, let's be honest, often harsh realities of ownership. What you're looking at right here, this is one of the last of its kind. Seriously, it's one of the very few Japanese 600cc class supersports that's still standing. While other companies have thrown in the towel, Kawasaki, well, they've kept the flame alive. That makes the ZX-6R way more than just a motorcycle. It's kind of like a living fossil from a category that's slowly but surely disappearing. So let's start with the good stuff. Let's talk about the dream. What is it that makes this bike so incredibly desirable? Well, it all kicks off with the heart of the machine, that legendary engine, and of course, its unmistakable sound. You know, the exhaust maker SC Project just nails it with this quote. The sound that this bike's inline-4 engine makes, it's not just noise, it's a huge part of its identity. It's that crazy high RPM wail that riders absolutely fall in love with. It's the sound that makes heads turn and gets your heart pounding. The legend of this bike is really built on a few core things. First, you've got that awesome 636cc engine. Then there's the look. It's just pure, aggressive, track-ready style. And it all adds up to this incredibly raw, engaging ride. One owner even called it a AAA title bike, like the big blockbuster video games. It's just seen as the best in its class. And that raw experience? This quote from YouTuber Petrohead explains it perfectly. It's what the bike doesn't have. Sure, it has the basics like ABS and traction control, but it's missing all those complex electronic nannies that you find on a lot of modern bikes. And for so many people, that's not a bug, it's a feature. It just creates a purer, more connected ride. Kawasaki has been really smart about how they've updated this bike over the years. They haven't watered down its character, but they've added some nice modern touches. For instance, the newest models finally got a beautiful full-color TFT display, replacing the old-school dash. And they've added more advanced ride modes. It's a machine that's kept its soul, but also managed to keep up with the times. All right, so that was the dream. It sounds pretty amazing, right? But now we've got to shift gears and talk about the reality. And we have to start with the single biggest wall that a lot of potential owners run into, the cost. And I'm not talking about the price of the bike. I'm talking about keeping it on the road. I mean, think about it. The performance is there. The looks are there. That incredible sound is there. So you have to ask yourself, what's the catch? Why doesn't every single rider have one of these parked in their garage? And here's the catch. This brutally honest quote from a Reddit user pretty much says it all. Insurance. For young riders or anyone new to this level of power, insurance companies see this bike as a gigantic risk. So they give you what's become known as the kindly fuck off quote. Basically, a number so high they hope you'll just go away. Just look at that number. $10,000 a year? This was a real quote for a 19-year-old new rider who wanted full coverage on a brand new ZX-6R. Let that sink in. For a lot of people, that's almost the price of the bike itself, paid every single year just to insure it.
So why in the world is it so expensive? Well, it all comes down to risk. Insurance companies see a high-performance machine that, statistically, gets crashed a lot, especially by newer riders. It's also a huge target for thieves. And the real kicker? If you finance the bike, the bank will require you to get that expensive full coverage. There's no way around it.
And if you can get past the shocking insurance quotes, there are other realities to think about. I mean, even a legendary brand like Kawasaki isn't perfect, and the day-to-day experience of riding this thing isn't always as amazing as it looks on a racetrack. Yeah, this was a big deal and a real point of frustration for the owner community. The latest generation of the bike got hit with 2 global recalls for engine components not long after it came out. Now, Kawasaki is fixing the problem, but it's really not what you expect when you buy a brand new premium bike. And this sentiment from YouTuber Dhruv Thrukrol really captures how a lot of owners felt. They're thinking, wait a minute, this is the company that makes the insane god-tier Ninja H2R, and they're having these kinds of issues on their flagship 600? It definitely put a dent in the bike's reputation for being bulletproof. And just to give you a sense of the complexity we're talking about, take a look at this. This is the official troubleshooting flowchart right out of the service manual. It's a very clear reminder that these are seriously intricate machines, and fixing a problem isn't always a simple, quick job. So what about just living with it day to day? The dream is you're carving up a canyon road or pulling up somewhere and just looking awesome. But the reality of commuting in traffic? It's an aggressive, hunched-over riding position that is just brutal on your back and wrists. This bike was born and bred for the racetrack. Using it to grab groceries is kind of like using a racehorse to plow a field. Sure, it can do it, but it's not going to be happy about it.
Okay, so we've lived the dream and we've faced the reality. Now it's time to put it all together. Is the ZX-6R really the right bike, or is it just the right bike for a very specific kind of person? Let's look at the numbers and put it up against its closest competitor, the track-only Yamaha R6 Race. Right away, you see the ZX-6R has a little more horsepower, but it's also carrying about an extra 13 kilograms, or around 28 pounds. So that creates a pretty interesting trade-off. See, the R6 is lighter, which might make it feel a bit more nimble and easier to flick into a corner. But the ZX-6R has a seat height that's 20 millimeters lower. That might not sound like much, but it can be a massive confidence booster for a lot of riders, just making it easier to handle when you come to a stop. It really depends on what you value more. So let's just spell it out. Who is this bike actually for? Well, it's perfect for experienced riders who want that pure, unfiltered thrill. It's for people who spend their weekends at the track. Who is it not for? New riders, absolutely not. The power and the insurance costs are just way too high. It's also a terrible choice for daily commuters or anyone who puts comfort anywhere near the top of their list. Now, if you love that aggressive ninja look, but everything we just talked about is scaring you off, don't worry. Kawasaki has a fantastic alternative. The Ninja 650 gives you that same kind of style, but it's way more comfortable, way cheaper to insure, and it has a reputation for being absolutely rock-solid reliable. It's the sensible, practical sibling. It's so important to remember what this bike really stands for. This kind of machine, the inline-4, 600cc Supersport, it's special. As rules and regulations get tighter and what riders want changes, these bikes are becoming incredibly rare. The ZX-6R is a holdout. It's a tribute to a very specific and maybe fading era of performance motorcycles. Which really leaves us with one final big question. We know the pure Supersport is a dying breed. We know it comes with some serious costs and compromises. So, when it's all said and done, is that raw, high-revving, unfiltered thrill really worth the price of admission? Well, that's a question only you can answer.